How addiction develops. My name is Jeneth, and I'm an addictions counselor in the Winnipeg area. I have decided to do a series of videos to help people understand more completely the dynamics of the disease of addiction. I'm going to address how addictions commonly develop, and will also focus on some practices that can be used to overcome addiction. Anytime I refer to a substance or drug of choice, please feel free to substitute food, gambling, sex, shopping, or any other habitual coping behaviors. Today, we are going to look at how addiction commonly develops in human beings. Research in the fields of medicine, psychology, and neuroscience have linked exposure of traumatic events and negative childhood experiences to the development of health conditions. In fact, research shows that in about 90% of cases of addiction, some form of trauma has been shown to play a part. While the term trauma commonly refers to events like being in a car accident, experiencing the atrocities of war, or being raped or assaulted, trauma is more generally defined as any situation in which a person perceives they are in danger and that they cannot prevent or save themselves from being harmed. So, with this definition at play, not having basic physical or psychological needs met in childhood can lead to the development of what we are calling complex trauma. Many individuals who have the disease of addiction do not think they experienced any trauma as children, despite the fact that they actually may have. While looking into all of the physical and psychological needs of a child is beyond the scope here, be aware that not having consistent and adequate food in the fridge, not being able to sincerely express emotions, having one parent not present in your life, being told you are not performing at a high enough standard, or feeling unsafe because parents are yelling or fighting can all make children feel unworthy and unsafe, and this can lead to complex trauma. Society is beginning to understand more about what happens to a child who grows up feeling unsafe, unloved, unworthy, or in danger or pain. But one thing we know for sure is that physical and emotional pain motivates us to get rid of it. And so children who cannot stop or leave what is happening to them tend to find solutions that fall under the umbrella of the flight, fight, or freeze response. They may use fight, where anger is used to avoid pain. They may use a version of flight, where they isolate and avoid any difficulties in their environment, or most commonly in children, they may freeze and disconnect from their own emotions. These survival-oriented processes become deeply ingrained patterns, and these persons end up living as adults with an underlying sense of fear and discomfort in the world. Perhaps one of the most common methods to mediate this pain and fear is to numb out with drugs and alcohol. It is hypothesized by many experts around the globe that if complex trauma is not addressed, it will continue to influence your life. It will affect your self-identity, your relationships, and your general well-being, and you will continue to use familiar, damaging coping methods. While it may seem like it's going to be too painful to deal with, most people who go through the process of overcoming trauma say it was nowhere near as difficult as they thought it would be, and that it was absolutely worth it. I will leave you today with 5 facts about healing from trauma. Number 1, with help, it is possible. Number 2, healing from complex trauma involves reconnecting and resiliency. Number 3, you have to pace yourself. Number 4, we need to look at the past and the present. And number 5, you need self-compassion. And self-compassion will be addressed in my next video. Welcome to the Addictions Cafe. Help is out there and recovery is possible.